Well, if you hear that I ended up with some kind of injury to like my head, just know that it happened when I attempted a backflip. I mean, I know better. I could never do a backflip, but man, am I wanting to right now. It's cause, I have cause for celebration. Yet again, the Most High, like he has every day, he's blowed my mind out here on the dance floor. Like always, he has all the right moves. He says all the right things. This person here, and forgive me if I don't know your name, I think it's Nat right here, Nat and 4297. Put this in the comments, and thank you again. I can't thank you enough for listening, paying attention to the word, and being hungry and thirsty for the truth, and for encouraging me and helping me. You know what I'm, like I said here a couple days ago, you know, I can only imagine how far we could go if, you know, some people that are a lot brighter than myself get to, you know, to get their sleeves rolled up, suited and booted on this whole deal, you know. But you left this message, this comment here, and it's from 4th Ezra, I think you said, chapter 7, and it's amazing. And just knowing that you see it, and I see, like, look, my sister Tarina down here at the bottom, you said that you got my invite, just that, and I think Sister Bethany, it was saying something along those lines too. That is cause for me to do a cartwheel. I'll do a cartwheel, because I know if I try to backflip, it'll probably be lights out for me. But yes, my cup runs over yet again. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. All esteem to Abba Yahuwah. And thank you to all of you for loving the Most High in His Word. But look what it says right here. And if you don't know what it says in chapter 4 of 4 Ezra's chapter 7, you too might want to do a little flip or a dance of some kind. Verse 25 says, that is the reason, Ezra, that empty things are for the empty and full things are for the full. For indeed, the time will come when the signs that I have told to you will come to pass, that the city that now is not seen shall appear, and the land that now is hidden shall be disclosed. Everyone who has been delivered from the evils that I have foretold shall see my wonders. For my son the Messiah shall be revealed with those who are with him. Revealed. There you go. See, I mean, we've been saying, we've learned that when it says that the Messiah, the Son of Man or whatever, will come down on the clouds, come out, you'll see him coming down from heaven. That wasn't literal. That explained it to you right there. He'll be made manifest. He'll be revealed to those who are looking for him. And those who remain shall rejoice 400 years. After those years, my son, the Messiah, shall die, and all who draw human breath. Then the world shall be turned back to primeval silence for 7 days, as it was at the first beginnings, so that no one shall be left. After 7 days, the world, that which is or the world that is not yet awake shall be roused, and that which is corruptible shall perish. So I think what he was saying there is that they, you know, Messiah was revealed to them back then, the emissaries or whatever, you know, you know, Matthew, Mark, and those guys. And since the Messiah died until now, no one's seen him. I mean, no one has been, you know, the world has been asleep, basically. The earth shall give up those who are asleep in it, and the dust those who rest there in silence. And the chambers shall give up the souls that have been committed to them. The Most High shall be revealed on the seat of judgment, and compassion shall pass away, and patience shall be withdrawn. So the mercy, it will be done. There will be no more mercy. Only judgment shall remain. Truth shall stand, and faithfulness shall grow strong. Recompense shall follow, and the reward shall be manifested. Righteous deeds shall awake, and unrighteous deeds shall not sleep. Yes. So that's so awesome that you shared that with me, because yeah. And you I know you mentioned the Sefer app. I had a Sefer. Someone, a nice lady, gave it to me, but it got left behind in Egypt, in Illinois, and it wasn't by intention, because I love my Sefer. Yeah, so I've been missing it, and I've thought a couple times too that, man, I'm sure there's a lot more of this good news, wink wink, in that I could be reading. But I can't. If I downloaded the app of the Sefer on my phone is a piece, and most times when I hit the record button, when I make a video, I gotta go in and clean like voicemails out and stuff out of my phone just to get it to work. So I might download it to read it, but I know I'd have to uninstall it when I hit the record button for sure. But you mentioned that, and I went in and Googled it and to go read that, what you sent me, and I seen this from 2nd Esdras, chapter 2, and it's more cause for celebration, more Abba cutting a rug, and things being confirmed to us, so we know that our faith stands on a rock, that we have been given an expectation, and that these things that the world would laugh at, they're things that we can grab a hold of. They're tangible things. That's how we solidify our faith, with these confirmations, with these dance moves that are second to none. So right here, I think it's chapter 13, actually. Yeah, chapter 13 of 2nd Esdras. Let's get it. And it'll be hard for me to read because it's the KJV, and it's the only version that I seen it. I didn't go look for other versions. I seen this, and I wanted to get it to you and read what I have seen to you today, and remind everybody to get on their face and give all praise and all honor, all glory, and all esteem this day to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, our righteousness. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, the man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him, trembled. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And see, that's lets us know right there why this message has been rejected and received with violence by the majority, because this is how he separates the wheat from the chaff. His word, the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Anyone who's not living the truth and doesn't hunger or thirst for the truth, they're going to flee like cockroaches to the light when they see it, when they hear the truth. It's just how it is. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight, whatever that means. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out his mouth as it had been a blast of fire. He was slicing and dicing, baby. And out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. And I think tempest is either hail or wind. I can't remember for sure. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Afterward I saw the same man come down from the mountain, and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry. Some of them were bound, and others were brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy to show me to that you receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in my understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, and much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Now understand I the things that are laid up in the latter days, which shall happen unto them and to those that are left behind. Therefore they come into great perils and many necessities, like as these dreams declare. Right there is more confirmation that he did. This is true. He's seen this. All this stuff is confirmation. Yet it is easier for him that is in danger to come into these things than to pass away as a cloud out of the world, and not to see the things that happen in the last days. And he answered unto me and said, The interpretation of the vision I shall show you, and I will open to you the thing that you has required. Whereas thou hast spoken of them that are left behind, this is the interpretation. He that shall endure the peril in that time has kept himself. They that be fallen into danger are such as have works and faith toward the Almighty. Know this before, that they which are left behind are more blessed than they that be dead. This is the meaning of the vision. Whereas thou saw a man coming up from the midst of the sea, the same is he whom the Most High has kept a great season, which by his own self shall deliver his creature, and he shall order them that are left behind. And whereas you saw that out of his mouth there came a blast of wind and fire and storm, and that he held neither sword nor any instrument of war, but that the rushing in him in of him destroyed the whole multitude that came to subdue him. This is the interpretation. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, one realm against another. It's just like when Messiah said, there'll be two at the millstone, one taken, one left, two on the housetop, two in the field. He was letting us know that the graven image, the abomination that lays waste, it's this false, set-apart place. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I showed you before, and then shall my Son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another, and an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou saw them, willing to come, and to overcome him by fighting. So he said, those who will be gathered together are those who got in a car and stomped on the gas, yes. But he shall stand upon the top of Mount Sion, and Sion shall come and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou saw the hill graven without hands. The hill graven without hands, right there. That's the image of the beast, the hill. And this my Son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations. The wicked inventions. That's why he's talking directly about the abomination that lays waste, the image of the beast, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, and shall lay before them their evil thoughts and their torments, the torments wherewith they shall begin to be tormented, which are like unto a flame, and he shall destroy them without labor by the law which is like unto me. And where you saw that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him, those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Osiah the king, whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, and that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow places of the river, for the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years, and the same region is called Arsareth. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the Most High shall stay the springs of the stream again, that they may go through. Therefore saw them the multitude with peace. But those that be left behind of thy people are they that are found within my borders, the escape, the deliverance. Now when he destroyeth the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. Who remains? Those within his borders, found within his borders. And then shall he show them great wonders. Then said I, O Yahuwah, that bearest rule, show me this. Wherefore have I seen the man coming up from the midst of the sea? And he said unto me, like as thou can neither seek out nor know the things that are in the deep of the sea, even so can no man upon earth, my son, so those that be with him, but in the daytime. You see, he's letting us know right there that's what the Messiah coming in on the clouds, it means. It means that the world, he's here right now, but the world can't see him. And you're seeing him. We're seeing him. And they can't see him or us, whoever's with him, because we're not of this world. They can't understand the things that we're doing. And, it's just like Noah. When Noah built the ark, The Most High didn't tell him to go build that in secret where no one was going to see it. Like, it didn't matter, because he knew that everyone was going to laugh and mock him for doing this, for building a boat. And it's going to be that way when whoever is listening to this, if you, hopefully you decide to get in the car and step on the gas. When you do, and I'm sure you'll ask everyone you love and try to tell them about it, I'm sure you will. When you do, they're not gonna, I mean, chances are, and hopefully they do, but chances are you'll be coming by yourself. And I mean, that's unfortunate. That sucks. Tell me about it. But that's just the truth. So, and why would we come here? We seen the Messiah. We seen the truth. That's why we came here. So, I mean, and if they don't come, that means they can't see him. They can't. This is the interpretation of the dream which you saw, and whereby thou are here lightened. For you hast forsaken thine own way, and applied thy diligence unto my law, and sought it. Right there. That's what it's going to take for us to forsake our own way with due diligence, suited and booted, sleeves rolled up, face down, all esteem. That's the only way. Thy life hast thou ordered in wisdom, and hast called understanding thy mother. And therefore have I showed thee the treasures of the highest. After other 3 days I will speak other things unto thee, and declare unto thee mighty and wondrous things. Then went I forth into the field, giving praise and thanks greatly unto the Most High, because of his wonders which he did in time, and because he governeth the same and such things as fell in their seasons. And there I sat 3 days. Now, I just want to read these couple verses right here from chapter 9. Check it out. Verse 6 says, even so the times also of the highest Most High have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And every one that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby you have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Hallelujah. See, he hasn't been lying, my friends. Thank you, my new friend, for sharing that scripture with me today. And yeah, so much I mean, I really could do, I'm going to try to attempt like a double backflip at this point. Now, somewhere in there, I couldn't find it just now, but when I was reading it earlier, it said something. It said the land and the borders that's beside the seven. The Most High said it's beside his 7 mighty mountains or something like that. And this is the Wasatch front. Wasatch. Wasatch. So it would be like, you know, I mean, I could totally hear or see how that would be a word like Yahudim. You know what I mean? Like it's from the Most High, I guarantee you. But if you, I'm going to show you the picture here in a minute. There's 7 mountains along this front right here. This is Provo. This is Twin Peaks right there. It goes out like right here. This thing right here, that mountain right there, that's like that's a rampart. And it comes across here. Oops. And wow. And it opens up that little it's like a bowl up in here, and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and I promise you that. I'm going to show you a couple like little videos that must have been taken by a better camera than mine, and you'll see. I'm going to show you. But right along here, there's this Twin Peaks. I think it's like Bald Knob or something. There's Timpanogos, Provo Peak, in which this bottom of Provo Peak is known as the Grindstone or Millstone Mountain. Spanish Fork Peak, and then there's that Loafer Mountain, and then there's Mount Nebo. And I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful sight you'll ever see. And look, right here, I've showed this before, but you see Mount Nebo right there? I can zoom out just without it disappearing on me. Right there. Straight across is Jericho, right where that heart is. You can see it's Jericho. It might disappear when I zoom in. Jericho. And it's the real deal. Real deal Holyfield, baby. Let me show you these pictures, though. I think I can click on to this right here, and I want you to see this. This is something I've been thinking about, and I just wanted to tell you about it. I mean, like I said, it's the most beautiful sight you'll ever see. And I'm always, when I'm driving, I'm always like looking at the mountains and stuff, and all the mountains along that front, the 7 mountains, they're all of the same color, except for one in the middle, this one right here, this Twin Peaks. And it's captured my, imagination since I seen it. All the other ones they're not normal. They're all magnificent mountains. But the one in the middle, the Twin Peaks right there, it's like white on top. It looks like concrete on top, and none of the other ones are like that. I can't explain it, but and it looks like the Most High, like it's like a throne. It looks like a throne. Like I don't know for sure, but I wanna, like when it says the Most High's mountain, like it makes me think that's it, and I don't know for sure, but. Let me try to, this is the wrong peak. That's the problem with these pictures. Let me see. It's this one, Lone Peak. There we go. See that? See how that is? And it's like the Most High took his hand and like shoveled, like scooped out like a trail through there. See those lines right there? Like what the heck are those? But let's see if I can see a picture in here where you can see. It's like you can see in this one here where there's snow on top. See how there's like grooves? It's like it's different than all the rest. There's part of it. It almost looks like a throne. It's unbelievable. It's magnificent. But look right here at this one video. I think you'll see it right here. Or that's a picture. That's Lake Utah. That's Lake Kinnereth. Just like in the Bible, it says in the Bible, but it's called Lake Kinnereth or Kinnereth. There was a video on here earlier. What the heck happened to it? That's not it. I mean, you talk about beauty. Like I said, I mean, I've been to a lot of places. I've seen videos and pictures of a lot of places, and there's nothing that can compare to this. Not a thing. Yeah, here's one right here. See how it's like there's like ridges like that are cut out into the mountain, and it's amazing. So okay, that might have been, yeah. So this to the left, that body of water, that's Lake Utah. That's Lake Utah, and I think, yeah, this is looking south, and you can see just the very tip right there of Mount Nebo, and then this is Provo right here. This town is Provo. That's my favorite area Provo and Spanish Fork and Springville. But there's somewhere on here, I wanted to show you this video where there was a video where you could like see it panned out and you could see the upper pool and the lower pool. And it's spectacular. Let me tell you. It must not have been on here. I could have swore I saw one earlier. Oh, right here. Maybe this is it. Yeah, right here. See, that's Lake Utah looking south. And that's to, let me see. Yeah, at the very bottom, at that very bottom peak, that's Mount Nebo. And it looks up through the valley, Utah Valley. It's amazing, y'all. Let me tell you. There's nothing like it. And maybe, is this it? There's one where I thought it showed it panned north, and you could see the Salt Lake, the upper pool. But I don't see it. Wait, is this one? Did we just watch this one? Here we go. Maybe this is it. Look at that. It's amazing. Yeah, it's Cherry Canyon. I don't know where that mountain is. But, so, like if we were standing there, that video we just watched, maybe I can do it on this. There we go. Yeah. So, let me show you. This is Mount Nebo. That one is right there. And that lake, that's Lake Kinnereth, okay? See these ridges? See, they're all spectacular. And even this camera don't do it any justice. Like when you're down here in Provo or anywhere in here, and you're looking over at those, they touch the sky. It's crazy how big they are. And especially the further away you get, like when you're way over there on the other side of the valley, they look 3 times as big. And right over here is Ophir, where Solomon got his gold, right there on the other side of that mountain. And they named this peak of this mountain right there. That's the Great Lake, the Salt Lake, the upper pool. But that peak right there, they named it Farnsworth Peak, which is, I found a little odd that they did, because, and there's a bunch of radio and TV towers up there, but one of the first things the Most High shown me a long time ago was about the TV and the guy that created it, Philo Farnsworth, and that peak's named Farnsworth Peak. But look, so you can you see how like the rest of the mountains back there are brown looking, and they're all beautiful, but this one right here, it's got this thing and it's all white up here, and then you can see it, like it sticks out different than the rest. See, all them ones down there, they're not white like this is. They're the regular, like the color you would think they would be. You know, that's probably snow there, but I promise you, none of the rest of them are white like this, except for this one. It looks like concrete's been poured out on top of it or something. I don't know. Maybe you know. Maybe one of y'all know. I don't know. But I can guarantee you one thing. It's spectacular, and ain't no place I'd rather be, I can tell you that. So right here, and I'll find that in that Esdras again. It might even been in 4th Esdras where it says the 7 mountains, but right here, Wasatch is a Ute Indian word meaning low place in high mountains. Cache, or maybe this ain't the picture, cache is a French word meaning to hide, and is a legacy of early fur trappers who were the first Europeans to visit the country. Look at that. Maybe I know. Oh, no, yeah, that's where it says it right there. Pretty sure, yeah. So maybe this is 4th. I'm sorry, guys. It says, and as many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains whereupon there grow roses and lilies. And that's true. The sago lily, like I said the other day, like that's its flower, like it, and they're everywhere, and they're edible, and they're like really good for you, nutritious. So that's how the Mormons survived, was on sago lilies when they first came here. So they say. But let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. I thought I had it right here. The Wasatch 7 is made up of the 7 major peaks in the Wasatch Range that surround Yehuda Valley. And there they are. And now to where it's at. And it was in Esdras too, but I really, and I'm sure you would agree, I need one that I can read a little bit easier than what that one was. But so right here, and isn't it like the Most High? Yet again, look at what the verse of the day is, and it's 12:04. They just changed the verse of the day. You see, I think I might have showed you what the one was for yesterday. It was like ascribe strength and peace to the Most High. But look at this one. For though the mountains be removed and the hills be shaken, my loving commitment, I love that word, is not removed from you, nor is my covenant of peace shaken, said Yahuwah, who has compassion on you. And that's in 54 of Isaiah. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. Now I want to read a little bit of Nehemiah, and I want to read and just take a look, like a quick look at Exodus, and that's something that I think we should start reading more of. But I want to read Nehemiah right here, a little bit of it, and I'll try not to keep you too long. Try to wrap it up here. And but this is so important. I mean, this is so huge that we get this word right here, my friends, my mishpachah, my family. Nehemiah, chapter 1, verse 1. The words of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. Let me see. Who's Hakaliah? Let me see if I can say it better. No. Hakaliah, yeah, same. It's still difficult for me. And it came to be in the new moon of Kislew, in the 20th year, as I was in the citadel of Shushan. Then Hanani, one of my brothers, came with men from Yehuda, and I asked them concerning the Yahudim who had escaped, who had survived the captivity, and concerning Yerushalayim. And they said to me, the remnant who are left of the captivity in the province are there in great evil and reproach, and the wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and its gates are burned with fire. And it came to be, when I heard these words, that I sat down and wept, and mourned for many days. And I was fasting and praying before the Most High of the heavens. And I said, I pray, Yahuwah, my Most High of the heavens, O great and awesome, mighty Most High, guarding the covenant and loving commitment with those who love you and with those guarding your commands. Please let your ear be attentive and your eyes open to hear the prayer of your servant, which I am praying before you now, day and night, for the children of Yasharal, your servants, and confess the sins of the children of Yasharal, which we have sinned against you, both my father's house and I have sinned. We have acted very corruptly against you, and have not guarded the commands, nor the laws, nor the right rulings which you commanded your servant Moses. Please remember the word that you commanded your servant Moshe, saying, if you trespass, I shall scatter you among the peoples. But if you shall turn back to me and guard my commands and do them, Though you were cast out to the end of the heavens, I shall gather them from there and bring them to the place which I have chosen to make my name dwell there. And they are your servants and your people, whom you have ransomed by your great power and by your strong hand. O Yahuwah, I pray, please let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your servant and to the prayer of your servant to delight to fear your name. And let your servant prosper this day, I pray, and grant him compassion in the presence of this man, for I was cupbearer to the sovereign. Chapter 2. And it came to be in the new moon of Nisan, in the 20th year of Artashasta, the sovereign, when wine was before him, that I took the wine and gave it to the sovereign, and I had never been sad in his presence. And the sovereign said to me, Why is your face sad, since you are not sick? This is none else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very much afraid, and said to the sovereign, Let the sovereign live forever. Why should my face not be sad when the city, the place of my father's burial sites, lies waste, and its gates are burned with fire? And the sovereign said to me, What are you asking for? Then I prayed to the Most High of the heavens and said to the sovereign, If it seems good to the sovereign, and if your servant is pleasing before you, I ask that you send me to Yehuda, to the city of my father's burial site, so that I build it. And the sovereign, with the sovereigness sitting beside him, said to me, How long would your journey take, and when do you return? So it seemed good before the sovereign to send me, and I set him a time. And I said to the sovereign, If it seems good to the sovereign, let letters be given to me for the governors beyond the river, that they should let me pass through till I come to Yehuda. And a letter to Asaph, the keeper of the sovereign's forest, that he should give me timber to make beams for the gates of the palace that belongs to the house, and for the city wall, and for the house I would enter. And the sovereign gave them to me according to the good hand of my mighty Most High upon me. Then I came to the governors beyond the river and gave to them the letters of the sovereign. Now the sovereign had sent commanders of the army and horsemen with me. That time right there, the horsemen, that was literal. So we know. The Sanballat, the Horonite, Tobiah the Ammonite official heard of it, and to them it was evil, a great evil, that a man had come to seek good for the children of Yasharal. That's one thing we need to consider too. Like I've been saying, there's going to be people that's going to try to catch you by the heel. They're still trying to do it to me, and it's not going to end until it ends. And, like when Messiah said, is what I do, what I'm doing that's good, is it evil in your sight? And that's what he meant by pluck it out. If your eye, if your right eye sees evil or whatever, this is what they did to Noah. They laughed at him and said, you can't do that. You're an imbecile for building a boat. But when the floods came, he wasn't such an imbecile then, was he? Well, these people that don't love the Messiah, that don't see him coming in on the clouds, they're never going to understand why we would want to do this. And that's just the fact, that fact alone, that they've forgotten completely about the covenant. It should disgust us to the point that it drives us to get in the car, put it in drive, and slam on the gas. Like, for real. That our covenant that the Most High has given to us, our inherited land, our inheritance that he promised our fathers, the fact that we ain't in it and we're not doing that which is continual, it should be our number one motivation, right? And the world, they can't understand it because it's the deliverance. I mean, it's the separation of the wheat and the chaff. Then I came to Jerusalem and was there 3 days. And I rose up in the night, and I and a few men with me, but informed no one what my Most High had put in my heart to do at Jerusalem. Nor was there any beast with me, except the beast on which I rode. And I went out by night through the valley gate to the jackal's fountain and the dung gate, and examined the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and its gates, which were burned with fire. And I went on to the fountain gate and to the sovereign's pool, but there was no room for the beast that was under me to pass. And I went up and I went up in the night by the wadi, and examined the wall, and turned back, and entered by the valley gate, and returned. And the deputy rulers did not know where I had gone, nor what I had done, nor had I yet informed the Yahudim, or the priest, or the nobles, or the deputy rulers, or the others who did the work. Then I said to them, you see the evil which we are in, how Jerusalem lies waste, and its gates are burned with fire. Come, and let us build the wall of Jerusalem, and let us no longer be a reproach. And I informed them of the hand of my Most High, which had been good upon me, and also of the sovereign's words he had spoken to me. And they said, let us rise up, and we shall build. So they made their hands strong for good. We all need to make our hands strong, my friends, my mish. But when Sanballat the Horonite heard, and Tobiah the servant, the Ammonite, and Geshem the Arab, they mocked us and despised us, and said, what is this you are doing? Are you rebelling against the sovereign? And I answered them and said to them, the Most High of the heavens, he shall bless us, and let us, his servants, rise and build. But you have no portion or right or remembrance in Jerusalem. Oops. And Elishab, the high priest, rose up, chapter 3, rose up with his brothers, the priest, and built the sheep gate. They set it apart and set up its doors, even as far as the tower of Hanal. They set it apart as far as the tower of Hanal. And at his hind, the men of Jericho built, and at his hand, Zakur, son of Imri, built. And the sons of Hasaniah built the fish gate, who laid its beams and set up its doors, its bolts and bars. And at their hand, Meremoth, son of Uriah, son of Quats, strengthened. And at their hand, that person, the son of that person, strengthened. They all strengthened their hands and went to work, suited and booted, sleeves rolled up. But their nobles did not put their shoulders to the work of their master. And Yahayada, son of Pisah, and Meshullam, son of that person, strengthened the old gate. They laid its beams and set up its doors and its bolts and its bars. And at their hand, that person, them people, strengthened the official seat of the governor beyond the river. And one of the goldsmiths strengthened and had his hand, and one of the perfumers strengthened. They restored Jerusalem as far as the broad wall. And at their hand, the ruler of half the district of Jerusalem strengthened. So you see that this is, this is letting us know how we are to be. What kind of people would just, now that, we didn't see that we needed to keep the covenant maybe back then, or we just looked at it and we just weren't looking at it right, I guess would be the best way to put it. We've been lied to, and all we can do now is the right thing, and you know what it is. I'm not trying to preach to anyone. I just want to encourage everyone to get in the car and do the right thing, and understand what it is, where our expectation is, that it's not in any of those fantasies that we've been told our whole life, that they were lies. And this is just showing you what these people did, how they went to town and got this thing done, built this. And when he thought about it, this Nehemiah, about how it was laid in waste when he was in front of the sovereign giving him his wine, He couldn't hide the fact that he was sad. He lamented. And I've been saying, for a while now that Lamentations, that's the whole Bible is about this. But Lamentations, that's why it was written. It's lamenting over Jerusalem, Zion. And, we just read in Esdras where he said, the Most High give him understanding. We read about how he poured out his spirit. For surely, since I've been here, I know the Most High has given me truths for the last couple of years that it's turned the reality, it's brought me to reality of a lot of things. It turned on its head a lot of things, that I thought to be true, that they weren't. And come to find out, they weren't true. But since I've been here, like, there's been quite a few things, quite a few topics, the Most High has given me great understanding when it comes to him. And I don't know if you, if you didn't maybe believe it before, or maybe you didn't catch him before, I'm mentioning it now because I know that they're vital, that we all understand these things, like the marriage supper. Now that you see what this is, like, we should all understand, be well aware that the marriage supper is about coming here. That's what that's about. And the mark of the beast, that's these people that can't see the truth, that would try to catch us by the heel, they got the mark. That's what that is. There's no open sore. That's the sore, the grievous wound that's on them. The two witnesses, what they witnessed about, what the crown meant, what Revelations was talking about, what the Messiah meant when he said two shall be in the field, one taken, one left, all those things, and like the Passover, eating the whole lamb, the unblemished lamb, putting the blood over the door, the flask that the woman broke open, these things that we should be eating them routinely, and that way we can better share routinely, right? So I wanted to read that first part and let you see how Nehemiah was grieved because of the way the city is. And that's the best example for all of us right now. We all need to be of that mindset, that there's people here at this place. We're not here, well, I can't say that for me, but everybody else. And there's like the Mormons are here with all their temples. Like, no one is here in this set apart place, speaking his set apart name and doing what should be done here. So, that should be enough to cause anyone to want to at least know about it, and inquire, look into it. But, so I want to go read you some Exodus. There's some things in there too I'm sure we're going to want to freshen up on. Okay, right here in Exodus. Chapter 1. And these are the names of the children of Yasharal who came to Egypt, Mitzrayim, with Jacob, each one with his household. So they came with Jacob. They were the sons of Jacob, right? Yeah. Reuben, Simon, Levi, and Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. And all those who were descendants of Jacob were 70 beings, as Joseph was already in Mitzrayim. And Joseph died, and all his brothers, and all that generation. And the children of Yasharal were fruitful and increased very much, multiplied and become very strong, and the land was filled with them. Then a new sovereign arose over Egypt, Mitzrayim, who did not know Joseph. And he said to his people, see, the people of the children of Yasharal are more and stronger than we. So they were getting a little intimidated, weren't they? Because the children of the Most High were multiplying, and they were the children of the Most High. They were mighty men and women of the Most High. And that's what we need to understand. And the reason what I'm wanting to remind y'all that you keep in mind that there's probably going to be times where you'll have second thoughts, or there's going to be times when a lot of people, whatever, are, they have the gas stomped on trying to discourage you, and persuade you into just letting it go, and like trying to convince you that it's some fantasy or something. The world is always going to think those who are mighty men and women of Yahuwah, they're going to think that everything they're doing is fantasy. But what's reality? Reality is that Noah had to build the boat, and he was a mighty man to do so. Moshe. At first he didn't want to. He tried to make excuses and get out. He said, I can't speak. They're not going to believe me. Who do I say? Who do I tell them that sent me? But he did. He eventually did it. We're all human. We're all going to, I hem-hawed around too. But eventually I did, and you probably will too. I want you to be well aware of that, and to know that it's not going to be all rainbows and butterflies to get in the car and do what you got to do. But I can tell you, I can only witness on something that I've seen. And so I can tell you that, I procrastinated a lot. But I'll say it again. It was the greatest decision I've ever made. And it's like I wasn't even alive back then. I know I was, but it's like the levels that I've grew in my intimacy and relationship with the Most High, and the fulfilling or the satisfaction that I've gotten. It's beyond measure, and compared to what I was thinking about or doing in 2022 or something, it's just like, it wasn't even, I definitely wasn't in reality. So you have everything to gain, my friends, everything. And you've got, nothing to lose except for death, misery, those necessities we seen Ezra talking about, the necessities. All that stuff means nothing. It means nothing. That's not telling a mountain to be thou removed by going and, putting a down payment on a house or something like that. That's child's play. Literally. What the Most High has planned for all of us, what he wants to give all of us, it's actual living. And all you got to do is ask. Come. So these guys were intimidated. Come, let us act wisely towards them, lest they increase, and it shall be when fighting befalls us that they shall join our enemies and fight against us, and shall go up out of the land. So they set slave masters over them to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh supply cities, Pithom and Ramses. So that the children of the Most High built these cities. But the more they afflicted them, the more they increased and grew, and they were in dread of the children of Yasharal. I bet. And the Mitzrites, Egyptians, made the children of Yasharal serve with harshness. Yeah, that sounds about right. And like a lot of times too, I've said this, like whoever it is, or like whatever, like if someone's trying to convince you that you're crazy and just stay here, how could you walk away, whatever. If you did stay there and listen to what they say, it won't take long to realize that, that they didn't care either way. Like, they don't care if I left, but they found out I'm doing this, and now they don't want me to do it. Like my family, I went years. My family would never. I was the only one that would make sure to call my brother and my sisters and my mom and stuff, my dad, and and keep the connection going with us, And if I didn't, I would go for a long time, and I would realize, like, man, if I don't call or go see them, I'll probably never see them. And that's how it is. That's how it was. And then when they found out this, then everybody wanted to call and try to, it was like, where was you before, And so that's going to happen. You probably can bank on it. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all kinds of work in the field. All their work which they made them do was with harshness. Then the sovereign of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, in whom the name of one was Shaphr, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you deliver the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stools, if it is a son, then you shall put him to death. But if it is a daughter, then she shall live. Them ruthless. I mean, these people, and it's just like that today. Like, it's sick. But the midwives feared the Most High and did not do as the sovereign of Mitzrayim commanded them, and kept the male children alive. So the sovereign of Mitzrayim called for the midwives and said to them, why have you done this and kept the male child alive? And the midwife said to Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are lively and give birth before the midwives come to them. And that's right out. So the Most High was good to the midwives, and did I miss a piece? Yeah. So the Most High was good to the midwives, and the people increased and became very numerous. And it came to be, because the midwives feared the Most High, that he provided households for them. And Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, throw every son who is born into the river, and keep alive every daughter. And a man of the house of Levi went and married a daughter of Levi, and the woman conceived and bore a son, and she saw that he was a lovely child. And she hid him 3 months. And when she could hide him no longer, she took an ark of wicker for him, and coated it with tar and pitch, and put the child in it, and laid it in the reeds by the edge of the river. Now, isn't it amazing? It's not a coincidence that this little boat thing that she made for baby Moshe, he called it an ark, and that he put pitch on it. And that's what we've been talking about, about doing what Noah did and Moses did. His mom, just imagine what his mom went through, to have to put your beautiful little baby boy in this little thing and floating down the river, and thinking that that he could die and never see him again. Just imagine what she, her faith, how mighty of a woman she was, that she knew what she had to do. And all praise to the Most High, Abba Yahuwah, that she did that. Because we wouldn't be talking about we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now if it wasn't for her having the fortitude, the faith to know what had to be done and to do it. He would have died. They would have killed him. She had to do it. If you don't get in the car and step on the gas, my friends, you're going to die. You have to do this. And you're going to have to forsake people. There's going to be people that you're going to have to walk away from, because they're not going to come. And if they don't, and you want to live, that's just what you're going to have to do. Yeah. And one thing I've talked about what I read in 2nd Esdras a long time ago about overcoming, not being overwhelmed with the fact that all your loved ones are gnawing and gnashing their teeth. One thing I saw in there today somewhere, he said, don't concern yourself with what's going to happen to the world, because you're getting all this. You're going to be the one to live. So, we need to read more Esdras, that's for sure. But, I know it's hard, but look what we have to gain, my Mishpachah. Look, and what we have to lose if we don't do this. And, that was probably one of the hardest things anyone has ever done, what that woman did by putting him in that basket. But, hallelujah, she did. And his sister stood at a distance to know what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her young women were walking by the riverside. And when she saw the ark among the reeds, she sent her female servant to get it, and opened it, and saw the child, and see, the baby wept. So she had compassion on him, and said, this is one of the children of the Hebrews. And his sister said to the Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call a nurse for you from the Hebrew women to nurse the child for you? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. And the young woman went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, take this child away and nurse for him. Then I shall pay your wages. So the woman took the child and nursed him. There you go. His mom. Abba has all the right moves. He's got everything in control. All he's wanting you to do is to put one foot in front of the other. Put that childlike faith into action. I'm not going to read any more of this tonight, but another part in here that I want we should think about. That's when Moshe said, who am I? I'm nobody. I can't. I'm number one dumbass, epicry on high. I can't do this. And, we all will probably say that once, at least once. But it's not about us. It doesn't matter what we can't or can do. All that matters is we understand completely that there's nothing that Abba Yahuwah can't do. He can do all the things that might come up in your mind that's a roadblock or a wall. They shouldn't be there in your mind, and I understand that they will arise, and you'll have fears and doubts, and I'm sure you're aware that He's smashed plenty of them in front of your eyes. You know that He's capable of all things. But if you consider, like I did for the longest time, of being overwhelmed of the people that you got to walk away from, gnawing and gnashing their teeth, that's just another roadblock. Trust me, He's got it handled. It's all squared away. It's going to be grinning from ear to ear from here on out. Best believe. And, one thing I was thinking about, too, when I read some of Exodus today, I was thinking, how long from the time Moshe told his people in Egypt that they had to go, how long was it until they actually left? I don't know why I was thinking that, but I was. But we've seen so much, so many hints of it being next year. And I'm not going to speculate on a date. I don't know. But I have a lot of reasons, and I've shared them right here, that it would be around Passover of next year, of 2024. I got a lot of reasons to say that if I had to pick a date, if I had to, that would be the time I would pick. So, and I mean, like I said, I don't know, but we keep seeing over and over about the appointed time, and we see 24 and the 42. We see all these things. So, I mean, I know it would be a safe bet to just go out and get in the car right now and now don't even think about it. But I wouldn't wait. I wouldn't hesitate, my friends. Right here in Zephaniah chapter 3. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, do not fear, Sion. Do not let your hands be weak. Yahuwah, your mighty Most High, in your midst, is mighty to save. He rejoices over you with joy. He is silent in his love. He rejoices over you with singing. I shall gather those who grieve about the appointed time, who are among you, to whom its reproach is a burden. See, I am dealing with all those afflicting you at that time, and I shall save the lame, and gather those who were cast out, and I shall give them for a praise and for a name in all the earth where they were put to shame. At that time, I shall bring you in, even at the time I gather you, for I shall give you for a name and for a praise among all the peoples of the earth, when I turn back your captivity before your eyes, said Yahuwah. I'm sure that if you're someone that is seeing this truth, you see what time it is. Revelations chapter 19. So if that's you and you see that, don't grieve. Let us be glad and rejoice and give him praise. For the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife prepared herself. And to her it was given to be dressed in fine linen, clean and bright, for the fine linen is the righteousness of the set apart ones. And he said to me, write, blessed are those who have been called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said to me, these are the true words of the mighty Most High. And I fell at his feet to worship him, but he said to me, see, do not do it. I am your fellow servant and of your brothers who possess the witness of Yahusha. Worship the Most High alone. For the witness of Yahusha is the spirit of prophecy. That's the witness of Yahusha. He spoke the words of the Most High. He spoke all esteem, all praise, all honor, and all glory to Abba Yahuwah. And I saw the heaven opened, and there was a white horse, and he who sat on him was called trustworthy and true, and in righteousness he judges and fights. And his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, having a name that had been written, which no one had perceived except himself. And having been dressed in a robe dipped in blood, and having been dressed in a robe dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahuwah. We're looking at him right now. And the armies in the heavens, dressed in fine linen, white and clean, followed him on white horses. And out of his mouth goes a sharp two-edged sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall shepherd them with a rod of iron, and he treads the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of El Shaddai. And on his robe and on his thigh he has a name written, Sovereign of Sovereigns and Master of Masters. So now you see why it's on his thigh, right? Like he's been showing us that when it says on the thigh, he's talking about where mine's at right now. Where do you keep your Bible when you're reading it? Usually it's on your thigh, huh? Unless you're sitting at a table. Well, I can't remember the last time I did that. And I saw one messenger standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the birds that fly in mid-heaven, come and gather together for the supper of the great mighty Most High, to eat the flesh of sovereigns, the flesh of commanders, strong ones, horses, and those who sit on them, and the flesh of all the people, free and slave, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the sovereigns of the earth and their armies gathered together to fight him who sat on the horse and his army. And the beast was seized, and with him the false prophet who worked signs in his presence, by which he led astray those who received the mark of the beast and those who worshipped his image. The two were thrown alive into the lake of fire burning with sulfur, and the rest were killed with the sword which came from the mouth of him who sat on the horse, and all the birds were filled with their flesh. And I saw a messenger coming down from the heaven, having the key to the pit of the deep and a great chain in his hand. And he seized the dragon, the serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he threw him into the pit of the deep and shut him up and set a seal on him, so that he should lead the nations no more astray until the 1,000 years were ended. And after that he has to be released for a little while. And I saw thrones, and they sat on them, and judgment was given to them, and the lives of those who had been beheaded because of the witness they bore to Yahusha, and because of the word of the Most High, and who did not worship the beast nor his image, and did not receive his mark upon their foreheads or upon their hands. And they lived and reigned with the Messiah for 1,000 years. Now, I don't know for any of you who weren't here when I was talking about the mark of the beast, if you, just in case, I'm going to point this out, in case someone who's listening to this isn't aware of this. There's a reason that it says, when it talks about the mark of the beast, it says it was on their forehead and their right arm or their right hand. But when it says the seal of the Most High, it only says on their forehead. There's a reason that there's a distinction between the two. Because the right arm, the right hand, that means your work. That's what causes the people to have the mark of the beast. Because they're not willing to get in a car and do what they got to do. What we all got to do. What 9 times or 9.9 times out of 10, what stops them is, well, I mean, how am I going to live? Or I got to pay my bills. I got to, my girlfriend, she'll leave me. I got to buy her the house that I promised her. We're getting married, whatever it is. And you can't serve the Most High that way. He owns all the cattle on all the hills. He owns every good thing. If our interest, our decision making is based on anything of this world, we can't be a lover of the Most High. Not truly. I mean, there's a lot of people who believe they are, but there's a lot of things that they won't do based on money and the fortune and fame. So we have to understand that we might have to be clothed in sackcloth, bucket naked, barefoot on the side of a mountain. But you'll be in a lot better place, trust me, than where you were when you were raking in the dough, when you were calling the shots. You were dead. We ain't living until we're eating out of his hand and wrapped around his finger. We ain't getting any younger, Mish.
It's the first hill of the roller coaster. And you hear those clickers, the loud sound, it's really violent metal, chunk, and you go, what's going on here, Boy, this thing's really goes high. And then you go over the top. The wedding is at the top. You go over the top is the wedding, and then you just scream it.
Even if you make plans, you never think you're really ready for marriage.
No, it's like any growth. You can't be ready for it because it's growth. It's going to be new. It's going to be new. You're going to have a new life. You're going to be a new person.
Could make you wait forever, for forever. This is forever.
If it's a question of my heart, you got it. It don't belong to anyone but you. Hey, if that's a question of my love, you got it. Baby, don't worry, I got plans for you. Yeah, baby, I've been making plans, oh love. Baby, I've been making plans for you. Yeah, baby, I've been making plans, yeah. Baby, I've been making plans for
My sincere apology. I mean it. Look, I'll admit it, albeit pathetic, that I'm in my late 20s, still never been to a wedding. Just the idea of that lobby empty, do not sit with me, well, it's not your fault they try to get me, cause I'ma need the sales, cause I'm selfish, and I need you to myself, trying to see you afloat, but don't want to see you sail, cause I failed, I see you about to cry, cause when I enter they city, they leave without their pride, I'm sorry. Are you staring at my comments? Fearing it's gonna always be you sharing me with all them. Wrong. How dare I say ignore them? Preparing for that day I leave you here, it's what you for them. It's hard, you know, temptation and all. Bitches out here trying to see if my relationship's strong. Get a place in the chart, so run away from your heart. Yeah, this music my all, nothing is sacred no more. I'm wrong. I'm promising you better though. Your friends saying let them go. And we ain't getting any younger. I can give them now, but I can promise you forever. That's right.
You got it. It don't belong to anyone but you. Hey, if that's a question of my love, you got it. Baby, don't worry, I got plans for you. Yeah, baby, I've been making plans. Oh love, baby, I've been making plans for you. Baby, I've been making plans,
The realest shit I ever wrote.
Baby, I've been making plans for
The realest shit I ever wrote.
Yeah.
You have a new love. I'll admit it, let me be hypothetical. If the day I find a woman, I'll probably be scared to share it. The idea of me finding love will run somebody off. And through my wall, can use some plaques, but still I got a flaws, brush you off. Yeah, I'm kinda lost. Now I'm up in the club with a couple of move-ons. Sipping dark, good nigga trouble heart. Went from falling in love to drunk and falling apart. This is hard. Trying to find some time to move on. So when we lost our baby, I got shady, shit got too dark. Sorry. And I thank you, baby, you strong. My ex before you married to you solo, I say so long. Nah, good terms how that ended, but it surely put a dent on how I worry about this business. Off-white picket fences, on flights with the children, on site stealing kisses on off nights, my intentions, but I plan to do it better though. But you still saying let it go. We ain't getting any younger. Women love me now, but in your eyes, you forever.
Baby, you got it. It don't belong to anyone but you. Hey, if that's a question of my love, you got it. Baby, don't worry, I got plans for you. Yeah, baby, I've been making plans.